Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. You can just say hi. If you're not a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes. Or if you prefer to lurk, you can just be a lurker, and that's okay. You don't have to engage in chat. We are going to start with the cha-ching noise because Harold, before the stream even started, Harold cheered 52 bits because it is 5/2, the 2nd of May. Aristophan is here. Hello, Aristophan. So, Harold, thank you very much. Welcome to the leaderboard, the bits leaderboard, because it is May. It's the first stream of May. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. Got a few friends here. We are currently at 39 out of 40 subscribers. Always trying to hit that 40 and then to 45 and to 50. You know how it goes. And a bunch of new followers join in. Ghost Valve is here. What's up, Ghost Valve? Happy to have you here. Very, very delighted that we had some new followers from the Plastic Model Weekender, which we'll chat about as we get into the stream. Sharks 2K just resubscribed with Prime. That's 19 months. Getting us up to 40. Gonna hit the old sub noise here. Let's get that applause in there. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in chat. Bobby Dust Roller is here. Welcome, Bobby. Happy to have you here. Thank you very much, Sharks, for using your Prime. 19 months is a many, many months, and we thank you very much for that. And then I will update this to. We're on the road to 45. We hit 40. Now it's time to try to get to a 45, which would be great. And thank you everybody for being here. Welcome to the old Build With Baer Workshop. Tonight we're working on the Danazine. This is some of the Danazine. It's the chest because this kit is a goddamn dragon. So this is what the chest looks like. Somebody thought it looked like a leg before, and I'm like, it kind of does look like a leg of a bigger kit. It's a high grade. It is from the year 2012. The model, this show is Gundam HG. Oh, we got ground here. That was just that. That was very late for some reason. Sorry about that. Weird. I don't know why, but that was a long delay for stream elements. But it is there, which is good. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The Danazine. I thought I would get farther into Danazine on Saturday for the Plastic Model Weekender. Didn't get as far as I originally planned on building because of the generosity of the community. I know Harold was there donating. Lashbrook was there. I saw Lashbrook several times in the chat. And I know a few other folks watched as well. Thank you very much to everybody that tuned in. Jam is here. Welcome, Jam, for the Plastic Model Weekender. My stream, my portion of the stream is archived on my Twitch VODs channel. Do I have a command for that? I don't have a command for that. Anyway, it's Pat Bear VODs. So you can find that on YouTube. But I put that up there because I was on a different channel. Went and grabbed that using Twitch Leech. Twitch Leecher, I should say. Twitch Leecher. Which just lets you download other people's VODs. It's helpful. Not ones that are subscriber only, but if they're not subscribed. But it was a great event. We'll talk more about that as we get in there. And we're going to work on this. So yes, eagle-eyed viewers will remember that Thursday we started the RX-782 Paralympic Games coloring model kit. We're going to pause that, even though it was bought on my wish list, because we started this for the charity event, and I want to finish this kit. Also, it's a pretty fast build, so it shouldn't take too long. It's only, I don't know how many pieces. It's not that big a deal. It's a high grade. It should be fairly quick. It'll be a little tricky because the explanations of how to do things aren't great on this kit. Dirty just subscribed tier 1, 33 months, and also wants me to hit the ska button. So first we'll hit the applause. Thank you so much, Dirty. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site the and because it's May, I got a new ska song. We're debuting a new ska song for the month, so I will hit the ska button once I hit the emotes. And thank you for using your channel points for this ska song. We got rated. Perfect time. Hello, Raiders. Welcome. Thank you, Mingledorf, for the raid. Welcome, everybody. This is the Build With Baer Workshop. We just started a couple minutes ago, so we haven't even gotten into actual building. We're just doing the Hangout intro portion. Welcome. I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets, and we talk about anime and manga and video games and the world. It's a pretty cool place, and you're welcome to hang out. Hit that follow button if you would like to see when I stream outside of this particular stream right now, and if not, that's okay. Um, you just heard some ska. You just heard some will not trigger DMCA approved for whoever ska that I have on my stream deck because that is a channel points reward. If you use 2,500 channel points, I will play a ska song, and I change the ska song every month because it's now May. That is the best raid music ever. So that's the thing. That was a weird coincidence. I don't have a ska song that triggers when I get raided. Yeah. But it started like a couple seconds before the raid. It was just a perfect, weird coincidence. It was a fantastic coincidence. I should have my raid music be something fun. I think it's just the normal alert and stream elements. But that would be really fun if I had like a fun ska song when people rated. I'm going to make a note of that. I might have to do that. We don't get rated that often here, but it's enough that it would be fun to have a cool song. Mary Kish has a guitar riff that plays and then her own voice say, "It's a raid." And that's, I think, very cute. That's my favorite, like, raid alert is just very fun. It pumps you up. You're like, oh yeah, it's raid time. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into model kit building. Again, folks, we do have here the Danazine from Gundam Age. It is a dragon. It's a grunt. I am not particularly familiar with this particular Gundam series. It's one of the few I haven't seen, but I did want to build this. And again, I did purchase this specifically for the plastic model Weekender, which just happened this past weekend. I was one of 30 builders all weekend. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. Happy to have you here as always. Yeah, I was one of 30 builders and grateful for it. And we got very little done in my 2-hour shift because if people missed the shift or missed me explaining what was going on with that plastic model Weekender, we started Friday night and ended Sunday, or Friday during the day and ended Sunday night. Streamers coming in, building model kits, doing painting, doing demonstrations of different techniques. There was like a talk show segment kind of thing. Fall Dog did, because he doesn't have a proper streaming setup right now, build setup, just did like a guide to spending way too much money buying model kits in Japan. When you don't live there, which was informative and I thought was pretty cool. It started, that was really fun. There was a segment that was about paint and using acrylic paint and makeup brush like pads, the makeup pads, to apply paint to something that had already been base coated, like primed, and it made a really excellent looking effect. That was EA Spuds from the Plambo Build Report did that segment. It was like legitimately very informative, and I was glad I was watching. It was a great weekend. And I ran into problems building my model kit because I kept getting interrupted because I had a goal, which was basically just like, well, I'm going to keep building. So basically it was just like, I'm going to keep building until people donate money. And then every $50 that was donated, I would stop what I was doing and I would open a pack of playing cards, sports cards, various cards that I had collected throughout since last year. And all the donations came in. I do know several people. I knew them that donated, and I appreciate the folks that did donate to the Cure Alzheimer's Fund. But we also got a huge $500 donation from an anonymous person, and I don't know who that was. And it was just like, oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, well, cool. Thank you for all of that money. And so I ended up opening all the packs really early because I raised, during my shift, $885 was raised, and we raised collectively over $15,000, plus whatever we make for merch and any ad revenue, because we became an affiliate during the stream, and also some people subscribed. But it was really cool to hit affiliate status during that event. It was very, very cool, and it was also great that people decided to support by subscribing. And any money made through subscriptions will just be donated as well. Also, should report. Yes, Aristovan. It was a really, really heartwarming to see how much support we got coming in. Two things about Plasma Weekender. One, I do not know how much I will make by selling some cards, but I am currently investigating if any of the cards that I opened over the weekend or during my shift are worth money. And apparently, a couple of the cards that are from the Japanese version of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, the Magic the Gathering cards, apparently two of those cards are worth some money. And at very least, the English version of one of them is worth over $100. So I don't know what that means for the Japanese versions. I'm going to have to investigate if those are actually going to be worth any money to a U.S. Store. But I am currently checking with my friend who works at a hobby shop that is exclusively. He works at a Magic the Gathering card store. Basically, they sell a few other things, but they primarily sell Magic the Gathering cards. So I am investigating with him how much these are worth and if his work is interested in purchasing them. Because if they are, I will donate whatever money I make from that. And then the other thing is, foreign language usually gets a bit of a premium. Yeah, so also I should say, they're gorgeous. Kamigawa Neon Dynasty are fantastic, and this was like the booster pack, limited edition booster that has some really beautiful cards. So it was very fun to crack that pack. And I posted them, and a few people were like, these are the ones that are worth money. And then also a card that I guess isn't worth much money, but is beautiful. There's a beautiful land card that I'm like, I might just keep this. This is gorgeous. And one of my tokens looks really nice too. So one of the cards that's worth the most, a friend of mine was like, I don't have one of these. I'd buy it from you. And I was like, well, if I can sell it to a store for more money, I'm going to do that because the proceeds are going to go to charity. I don't if nobody wants to buy it, I will sell it to my friend for whatever. But if a store wants to buy it, I'm going to make that money. English collector booster retail for like $26. Yeah, that land card looked wonderful. Totally. So that booster was sent to me by a friend, and he paid, I believe, $20 for it. But he donated it. He also donated to the event. But he was like, because I was asking him for foreign language Magic Gathering packs because I thought that would be a fun thing to build on stream. And I was right. It was a fun thing to build on stream. Or to open on stream, I should say. But yeah, so we'll see if any of that is, something that could make a little bit of money. Because that would be rad. If we could make a little bit more money for charity. All right, C27. We'll see. And then the other thing is, so I had that incentive. Other people had the make the builder suffer segments. And that became a reoccurring event. Originally, it was just one person doing it, but it happened so early during the during the charity event that it became... maybe you can get a bump because you have a friend running a store, but usually selling to a store is not the most money you can get. Yeah, Lashbrook, that's why I said, I'm going to look for a friend, and if he recommends, oh, no, you should put it up on this site or whatever, I'll definitely deal with that. Obviously, yeah, I'm going to try to get a deal. Also, my friend may be able to get me a good deal because it is going to be for charity. But yeah, I'm trying to get, I'm not going through a site. I'm basically going through a friend who works at a store. But anyway, Pilk happened, which is Pepsi milk. That happened as like a, hey, here's a donation bonus. If we get to this money, I'll drink this Pepsi milk combination. And that just kept happening. And people were doing it just because. And some people were doing like weird, like they were doing that like vanilla Pepsi, which is already bad, like the Spaceman Pepsi. And then they were adding milk to that. And it was like, all of it was bad. And somebody was just like, oh, I don't know. I'm feeling good after this weekend. And I was like, I'm feeling okay because I didn't drink any weird milk. So I'm doing great. Because I didn't have any of the weirdo milk. I'm winning as far as that goes. I understand why people do weird beverage incentives because it does get people interested in that, but like it's just not my scene. It was just not a thing that I was like psyched about. I'm very glad I didn't do it. Also, because I got enough going on without like feeling bad about myself, like physically feeling terrible. I was just like, no thanks. Is this the right piece? Is this actually C28? I think I mentioned this. I hate this, how small this instruction book is. It is like unbelievably small, and it's fine that there's no English in it. It's 2012. We're like a year and a half away from them really adding a lot of English into there, but it's just like not. It's just tiny. It's just very tiny here. I've done hot peppers on my charity streams. I've done pie in the face. Yes, I am aware of that. Don't know if you saw Char's segment, but she popped the crown. Yeah. Oh, you want to try some of that Nitro Pepsi? No. Yeah, Char, who's a fantastic VTuber and just a lovely person, who is taking a break. I feel bad. Char is a VTuber that left her agency, like retired, and went independent. She didn't retire. She retired from the agency. Left that and was like, I want to take a break, but I have my birthday stream and then play my Weekender. So now she's taking a hiatus, which is great because that's important. But she was eating jelly beans and some of those, like, you don't know if you're going to get good tasting or bad tasting. And she like a filling came out, and that's awful. Yes, I didn't know there was a pie in the face. Have you seen the Flaming Hot Mountain Dew now? Yeah. I kept hearing about all these terrible drinks that people were subjecting themselves to. And like I said, people need to like do what they want to do, and that's cool. It's going to be very hard for you to see, but this sticker looks rad. The eyes on this, the sticker is obscured by the face a bit, and it's not going to show up here well on my camera, unfortunately, so I apologize. But let me just tell you that in person, it looks fucking good. I don't see why the Nitro... So it wasn't so much the Nitro Pepsi, it was that they were pouring milk in with it and having it with that. It's the pilk. It's the Pepsi milk that's bad. It's the like Red Bull and milk that I'm just like, no. Nitro Pepsi as it is, I don't want that, but that's fine. People can drink that particular version of the beverage if they want. I just like, I'm good. I'm just good on that. I don't need, I mean, I don't need caffeine in general, but I certainly don't need like caffeine and milk. Boo. I'm glad I didn't do any of that. I certainly would have taken time off. It was a great weekend, is what I'm saying. I had a really good time the whole weekend. I was in and out of a lot of streams. I was an audio guest during some streams, which was very fun to kind of just chat about some stuff. We got some wrestle talk in at one point, which was great because the person who was building didn't have any opinions on wrestling, but there was at least one other person that wanted to talk about wrestling, so we ended up doing it. I think I talked more in somebody else's stream about wrestling than I did while I was opening wrestling-themed pack, because unfortunately, most of the people in that pack had either been laid off, left themselves, or had passed. There were like two, maybe three wrestlers that had passed away in that pack, and that was depressing. But also that happens when you have a card pack from any years in wrestling. If I look like a sweaty mess, I apologize. The reason is I am. It's very hot. We're in the low 80s, and um, the request to turn the air conditioning on was rejected. Apparently, we're going to do it tomorrow. Why tomorrow instead of today? I don't know. But I did clearly request it. This computer puts out more exhaust, more heat, because it's got more fans than my previous computer, and it has increased the amount of heat in this room. And it is, in fact, oh fucking bummer. It's a real bummer in here. It's just very hot, and I don't like it. So if it looks like I'm sweaty, that's because I am. You also, maybe you'll see. I don't think you can see. Oh yeah, I got a Band-Aid here. I am okay. In case you were wondering, I am fine. This is covering up my first mosquito bite of the year, which is fun. Got my first mosquito bite of the season, and it is a place where it's just like where my arm rests on the table, and it was just really annoying me. So I put a Band-Aid on there. Will it be annoying when I have to take that Band-Aid off, and it's going to rip some of the hair on my arm? Yes. But right now it's good, so who cares? That's a problem for Pat Baer in the future. In the near future, I will be dealing with that issue. All right, that is the head. So now we are going to panel line that. I could probably do these parts after, but I'll do them right now here. Yeah, let's get into some panel lining here of our dragon head. Because we're going to move on to the arms. Yeah, we're going to do the right arm and the left arm, and then we'll put everything together. But we might as well panel line this dang head. It is fucking steamy in this room. I'm going to have to let my door open for a while before I go to sleep because it is toasty in here. I'm going to let some more cool air in. I have the window open. No fans in this room, unfortunately. No ceiling fan. That is... these do not want to stay in, so I'm just going to panel this outside here. That is frustrating. I would like to have a better breeze in here. But as I said, don't have the air conditioning running, and I would really like it. So if I appear to be a sweaty mess, then is because I am one. Let's see, other things going on. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot this particular weekend outside the Plastic Model Weekender. I was doing stuff there. Lesper says, I gotta say, I hadn't seen VTubers doing in-character gloves over their human hands. Seems like a no-brainer in hindsight. Yeah, especially during the race. You saw that there was a VTuber race. We had a couple who were both VTubers. And they were wearing gloves. And I believe most of our streamers who are doing that do that. I think that definitely helps with the suspension of disbelief that is needed, where you have this cartoon avatar on screen and then human hands come out from, and are starting to build things. We did have a lot of VTubers, that more than we had the previous year. It's only the second year of it, but it was really great to have more folks. It was just nice. Wider community, because that's the thing, right? Like, I know Jason, and I know Stroud, who runs the Reddit, the Gunpla Reddit, and like I know a few streamers, and I met some of them, and then I know some model kit builders who they don't focus on model kit building, right? They they do it on occasion. My buddy Jason, my buddy Jeremy, we've raided a few people here and there over at Loading Ready Run, sometimes on Thursdays, like every Thursday, every so often. Ian Horner will build a model kit, which is always a good time. But it's not like Matt. I don't know. Has Matt built anything? Yeah, we've rated Matt when he's been building. So I have a few friends that do get in there on occasion. But I am not like I'm not really in the community for builders. I don't really hang out in the Reddits. I'm not on building Discords that really focus on it. I mean, it's a hobby I really enjoy, but most of the people that I'm really close with, as you see by who I raid, most of the people that we raid aren't model kit builders. At best, they're variety streamers who occasionally do it. Um, so it was nice to kind of like hang out with the community. I've added a bunch of some of not all of them, but some of those streamers, because some folks stream on YouTube. Some people don't regularly stream anymore, but they're still active in the community. Some are more known for their Twitter or their YouTube videos or whatever. So I did follow a bunch of them, and I will try to see them. And time permitting, I will try to rate more of them in the future. But yeah, I hope you found a few people that you want to go check out. Folks that tuned in, and thank you to everybody that did. Harold, have a good night. Thanks for being here, my friend. I will see you soon. Also, thank you for donating during the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah. Whew. Hold on one second, folks. Let me just. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Wipe off the sweat a little bit here. Apologies again. Hopefully, Wednesday stream will feature air conditioning. Wouldn't that be nice? It would be very nice. I'd be very pleased if I could get air conditioning on going for Wednesday's stream. Wednesday, speaking a little shop here, Wednesday stream will be Dorf Romantique. That game came out of early access last Thursday. So we will be taking a look at it during this Wednesday during the stream. So I hope you'll be able to come hang out for that. They have a couple different modes. There's a quick play with like a fixed number, and there's a few other things. So we'll check all that out. We'll see all those modes when we play Dorf Romantique this coming Wednesday, right here as a bonus stream. And then of course we're gonna work on this kit, and then when that's done, RX-782. Whenever it comes up, my patrons, whenever we get to figuring out what the next thing that I build is, I'm gonna do a premium Bandai only poll, because I have 3 premium Bandai kits right now. I have the White Rider and the Black Rider, which are video game kits, and then I also have the Exia Repair Real Grade, which came out in 2017. A Repair 2, I should say. Exia Repair 2 Real Grade. That just came in the mail today, which is, again, another premium Bandai kit. So I figured I want to build one of those before, soon. So I'll just put all 3 in the poll. And that's my $10 patrons get to vote on what I do there. Because my thing is I build what people buy from my Amazon wish list, and then I put up to a poll for my patrons to decide what I get next, because that feels like the most fair thing to do. I have more coming. I can give you a preview of what's coming up as far as stuff. Now this is the last I looked. These things could change, because often when you pre-order from like USA Gundam store, or if I'm putting a pre-order in at like Gundam Planet, they don't always send an email saying like, hey, this has been delayed. So it's kind of like, unfortunately, on me to go and look, and I don't always do that. So if I remember correctly, according to the last time I looked, in May, I am getting the entry grade new Gundam, the NU Gundam, from I got that from USA Gundam store. So hopefully that'll come in sometime in May. And also from USA Gundam store, the Raider Gundam Full Mechanics. The Raider is a fantastic looking Gundam. The Full Mechanics line, I've only built one in the modern Full Mechanics, but I enjoyed that kit, so I'm looking forward to picking that up. Also coming in May is the Asmodee, High Grade, which just looks real cool. This is a cool looking kit. I believe that is from like later seasons of Iron Blooded Orphans. And then in June, I'm getting from Gundam Planet the Bandai Spirits part separator. It is very similar to the part separator you may have seen on some other stores, but this is the official Bandai one. I've heard very good things about that part separator, so I pre-ordered it from Gundam Planet, which feels a little silly, but if it results in, what I want, like if it's good, then it's totally gonna be worth it. So I got that pre-ordered. Also in June from Premium Bandai, I have to figure out how to Aesculappius, Ascrapulus, high grade. That's a Premium Bandai. I don't know how to pronounce it. It just looks cool as hell, so I'll be picking that up. I got that ordered. Nothing in July. This was delayed. It was supposed to be out earlier this year, but now it's coming in August. Supposedly, the God Gundam Real Grade. Get another Real Grade. That's a pre-order from Gundam Planet. The God Gundam Real Grade looks phenomenal. I really like the God Gundam, and I am excited to be picking that up. And then, let's see. In July, I'm getting the Heavy Arms Master Grade from Endless Waltz. It's the Premium Bandai kit. That was a very expensive kit to pick up, but I've never built that Master Grade. I love that kit. I built the high grade of that. Never built the Master Grade version of that kit. Very excited to do that. And it was still cheaper than finding the old version for way too much money out there on the secondary and third markets. So still very excited about picking that up. And then in August, I'm getting the Heavy Arms Custom, which is also Premium Bandai. That's the same Heavy Arms that I built like last year, but it is the mid-season like upgrade. So I'm getting another back-to-back Heavy Arms, and then August getting the Grunt kits, the Vayet and the Mercurius, also Premium Bandai. That's a double pack. Excited about that. October, the Shenlong Gundam High Grade. I'm pre-ordered that from USA Gundam Store. The Shenlong, very excited to be picking that up because that is just like a phenomenal kit. I've enjoyed all of these the Wing Gundam or the Gundam Wing high grades that have been coming out, so had to pre-order that. And then sometime in the third quarter, so sometime this year, I don't know when, because it's on back order, so it's when they think they're getting them, the Gundam Age 2 Dark Hound Master Grade. That thing is sick looking. Again, not super familiar with Gundam Age, but I know that kit rules, and it's very expensive. So the fact that they're getting some in stock at a price that was pretty reasonable. Also, I don't build a lot of Master Grades these days. So the fact that I have 2 Master Grades coming in the mail and another Real Grade, and I have a Real Grade in stock, I'm happy about that because I like high grades. Folks know that I enjoy high grades, but I've built a lot of high grades, and my backlog right now is 1 Real Grade and a bunch of high grades. So the fact that I can work in Master Grades, work in some big scale, totally worth it. And as you can see by what I'm getting in the later half of the year, specifically, just so many kits that are, wing kits, because that is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Gundam series. So happy to build that. They'll never re-release Gundam X kits. They just won't, which is a shame because those kits have rubber feet in some of them, and along with some of the wing the G Gundam kits. But also those kits are just very hard to find, and some of them are really cool looking. I would love for re-release of some Gundam X stuff. We've seen like touches of the Gundam Double X in some like Build Fighters things, and that's been nice, but it hasn't been like a lot of it. And I totally understand why, because that show did not do well in Japan. So why would they be, looking to support it heavily in re-releases. Like even if it did okay here, it did bad there. It's one of like the least liked Gundam series. So I totally understand, at least rating wise. I mean, they cut a bunch of episodes. They cut its order number down. It really did poorly because it came right after Wing, and it was in many ways a throwback series and didn't like push even farther forward, which I think people were looking for. It went back to like one young protagonist and like it still had a love story, but it wasn't a love drama in the same way. And it had new types, and it was a post-apocalyptic Earth, and it just like didn't have the vibes of Wing. Its biggest problem was that it came right after Wing. I mean, to me anyway, that's the biggest fault with. And also in eventually it looked better, but in the way I watched X was fan subs, and of course fan subs, it looked worse. It looked worse than Wing because it wasn't out available with like an official English subtitles until its anniversary a couple years ago. Do you think it would do better now if they try to bring it back? No, because it would. Actually, I maybe there's the possibility that it would do okay because it looks old, and so it would look classic instead of at the time where it kind of looked old compared to Wing. And again, some of that is my memory of because I was watching it on VHS tapes or maybe a DVD at that point. I can't remember. I might have been getting fan subs on DVD then, but it didn't look great. So now I have no idea how the Blu-ray sold here in the U.S., but they did make it finally available legally in America to purchase it, which was cool that they did that. But I don't know if it was like, if it like, if it did any numbers, if anybody was like psyched about it, outside of like, some real diehards. But yeah, I mean, it feels like it's not loved. It's weird because G Gundam had like a weird resurgence, like especially in Build Fighters and Build Divers. There's a lot of love for G Gundam kits. And that's very strange because that one was like the first real weird one, and is so different and has a lot of its own problems. How much do I need to donate for you to open up the X-Wing trading card? Also, what up? Hey, welcome, Plamo. We were talking a little earlier about the weekend. You did a fantastic job in your segment. It was a lot of fun, and like, it did remind me that I do have more to learn, and I probably should watch more streamers, model kit streamers. I often end up with people who are like my friends who are like getting into the hobby, and I'm in chat like answering questions, which is really fun. But I should also like watch people who are doing cool shit that I'm not, like, doing painting or airbrushing or detailing or whatever. Because I'm not always doing that stuff. So it would be kind of neat to check in with more people streaming. Yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun to be there. I had a good time last night jumping in. I like talking to people, talking shop and chatting with people. And then also, it is funny because people were like, "Oh, I didn't know you." Somebody, in a Discord I'm in. I enjoyed your segment too. Had to watch the full one. Oh, nice. Somebody in my in a Discord I'm in was like, "Oh, Pat, I didn't know you were hosting the event. That's really cool." And I was like, "Oh, no, I wasn't." He was like, "Oh, but you talked about the charity a lot when you were like in other people's things." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the host in me." Like, I wasn't hosting officially, but like I was still promoting the charity during segments because I can't turn that part off of me. Like, I still have a guy that has to relay important information, MC. That's still part of my like presentation. Like, I can't turn that off. It would be good sometimes. I could stand to be a little more chill sometimes, but no. We have a talk. It's like I hadn't said, "Hey, You know, small donations mean a lot. I hadn't said that in a while, so I had to. You got an order in on the Lego Horizon Zero tall neck kit that is back ordered a bit. Okay. Nice, Lord Crash. Well, I hope it's not back ordered too much. Those Horizon Lego looked pretty great. I'm not super into Zero Dawn and One Dawn. I still got to make that joke. It's not even really a joke. It's just like a clear mistake. But yeah, I'm not super into that. But I can certainly say that it looked pretty dang rad. So I hope the people can get those. I don't have any Lego in my backlog right now. I got a few things on my wish list, and hopefully I'll end up with some of that. I might pick up one myself, but I did put that because it was mentioned during the weekend. My wish list, which I'll plug in a little bit when we go into the pause for the cause segment. Okay, it goes like this. Okay, great, got it. What was I gonna say? Well, as Lego, I did put the Ho-Oh, the Pokemon Ho-Oh, which apparently has springs involved in it. I put that model kit on my wish list because that looked neat. So that's my wish list, especially when people were like, Pat, I would love to buy something there, but I can't spend $50 on a model kit, which I fucking understand. You shouldn't. How's building the Danazine? So, Plamo, the thing with the Danazine is that the instructions are tiny, and I hate that. This is a 2012 kit, so I understand why there's no English anywhere, and that's fine. That's totally okay. But this is small. Like, hold on. Let me get this. Just 3 years later, well, that's the kit, but this is printed later, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. These instructions came later, but this is the high grade for the RX-782, the Paralympic Games emblem, RX-782, which is a 2015 kit, but was released last year. The difference here is ridiculous. Like, this is just too small. I am not happy with how small these instructions are for a high grade. So other than that, this kit has been fun so far. It's been a fun build. But yeah, I just don't like how tiny the instructions are. Watching this weekend made me jealous of how fast some people are. And then I'm like, I just panel lined the inner frame leg and then covered 90% of it with armor. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Some people do panel lining for every part, right? Like, I could have done every little bit of this if I wanted to. Instead, I waited till I got it together. Then I'm going to panel line it. You know, that's just me, because also for a lot of it, these aren't going to go on display. But they're good. I like them, but like, this is not going to end up on a shelf. This is going to go in a box, a big box full of little boxes. Did you get the Sanrio Gundam kits when they came out? Yes, I built the Hello Kitty RX-782. It's really fun. That is a fun kit. You know, it's like you can have the Hello Kitty. You get the Hello Kitty, then you can put the Hello Kitty version on the Gundam. But then also, I like taking the Hello Kitty with the Gundam head and then putting that on the body, and it just looked very silly. But that is a fun kit. I do recommend those, folks, if you can find those. They're enjoyable. I got that one as well. Yeah, it's really cute. Okay, so why are we being weird here? What's going on here? This one's being odd. That looks good. In there. And then it's clipped, it's shaved enough. I might have to shave this a little bit so it'll fit in there, right? We'll see. Nope, there we go. Okay, we got it. We did it. We got that done. But yeah, yes. 2012 manual size stock. Yes, it's just a small manual, and I don't particularly enjoy that. It feels like a cost-cutting thing, is that it's unnecessary. All right, and let's see how this bends. Yeah, all right, some good arm movement here. We're getting some nice bends on that. That's good. Yeah, that feels right. Again, this is not a kit I'm super familiar with. I just got it for a good price, and I like the idea of building a dragon, just something a little different, right? Because like many folks on the Plastic Model Weekender were working on like old kits. Some people were building bad, like this kit is terrible. I'm putting together this kit that I know is kind of like needs a lot of stickers and is a weird old kit that maybe you haven't seen before. This is a garage kit. Like I think that's fantastic that people do that, but I built that I forget the name of that thing. I built the one that had like weird legs. I don't know. It's like a pod with legs that I built last year that had like tiny little grapple arms and big, huge legs, and that was just a fun, odd shape. That's what I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for like Gundam kits that are just a little odd. Oh yeah, manuals on the box, like the G-frame kits. I really hate that. Thank you, Lashbrook. The Woodham pod. That is what I built. I built the Woodham pod because it was just a weird looking kit. It's like a UFO with legs, and that was just fun to build. That's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm putting together kits like that. I don't know which hands we're gonna build here, but we'll got plenty of options for hands. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one we're gonna put together here. We'll take a look at it in a second, but we will finish this arm up. I need D1 here. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of what I'm looking for when it comes to what I'm going to build is, the goal would be actually to finish it, but 2 hours is tough. 3 hours I got last year. I managed to mostly finish the kit. I think there was like a couple alt parts I didn't get to, but I mostly built it. But I also think it's fine if I don't. Who knows? I assume we'll do one next year. I know Jason's, he's someone that wants to continue to work on these things. So I do imagine that we will get to working on it in the future because he genuinely enjoys it. So yeah, I assume that we will do it again. But it's a lot of work. And then it's like, is it going to be a 4-day event next year? Because, there were people who did last year that didn't come back. Will there be, it's like, oh, well, are we going to say no to some people because they've done it 2 years in a row? And, or is it Jason going to have to start worrying about like, well, this person's gung-ho about it, but like they don't really stream anymore. So will they bring anybody? Or like, do I have to does like Jason have to like look at view counts during people's segments or whatever and like worry about that shit? It's like a lot of shit that like I'm very glad I don't have to think about because that sounds like not fun. I just get to build model kits and hang out and promote it. Certainly did that. We were talking about M90s themed Magic Girls. Yeah. I love the idea. The two things that came up were Magic Girls and or wrestling. And I like both those things. And I bet there are model kits inspired by like 80s and 90s wrestlers that would be very annoying to get, but maybe possible to get. Again, I'd have to look into it. I would probably just like find the Nobel Gundam and like maybe customize it. That's a Magical Girl Gundam. Certainly. Maybe do some customization on that. I like the wrestler idea. Yeah, there's got to be a Thunder Liger model kit. It might be a garage kit, but yeah, I do think that if people would started doing some themes, that would be fun. Tiger Mask, yeah, possible. But also, I do think it's important that it not be like a requirement because I do love the breadth of kits that we saw. The wide range of kits at that over the weekend was fantastic. Like people it's just like, oh yeah, we're building an RX-782, but we're racing as we build it, or we're painting this thing, or I'm working on this garage kit. I'm building this girl robot with a machine gun. And it's like, cool. Everybody do the stuff they want to work on. If you want to build Pokemon, if they want to build, whatever. People were just like, oh, I'm working on painting this kit, or, this is a cool kit for my backlog, so I'm just going to work on it. I think that's fun. Welcome. Yes, indeed. Throwing in some wrestlers. All right. So we got an arm done here. So we're just going to hit just the shoulders here with a little of our black marker, our Gundam marker here. Just hitting the black here. This kit doesn't need a lot of anything, really. It's got very few stickers. They're mostly head stickers. I think it only has like one sticker left. I think we put on 2 of the 3. So right now I'm just hitting with a little bit of black. Again, it doesn't require much to make this look pretty great. So I'm just going to hit it, look there. We'll hit the segments here. And then we'll wipe it off with a marker or a eraser. And then we'll just hit a little bit of the seams on this. Again, don't have to do too much with this because it's not even really going to show up. I mean, this kit is very solid, so it's just going to look good. And we don't really have to worry too much about it. That's why I don't have like the... I usually include the like, oh, this is the colors of the markers I'm using in one. What color? I don't include that because it's just black marker on green. Really, that's all it is. All right, and then we can attach that there because I think that's... We'll look ahead here. Yeah, no, nothing extra there. Hell yeah, look at that. Now we got an arm here. We got our head. Can kind of move the neck a little bit, not a lot. It's a dragon, Yug. It's just a dragon. Dragon. It's a dragon. And then it can compress. Oh yeah, and then these things. I might put a little blue tack in there in these ears here. I might end up putting some tack in there because I do want them to move around, but I don't want them to fall out as easily as they seem to want to. So this might be a case for post-stream in between builds doing that. Oh, and there's a little bit here on the face that I could just hit with some black. Look okay. Oops. Again, these don't seem to want to stay in, which is frustrating. All right, let me quickly just check something over here on the old... see this? Oh. I forgot to reply to my tweet. I think probably because of the rate. Still building. We'll just do that. Just do that. Just, reminding people that model kit building is happening and hanging out is happening. Because it's nice to do that. It's nice when people hang out and see what's up. Okay. All right. So, friends, we are going to take what's called in the business a pause for the cause. If you are new to the stream, if you came in from the raid or you followed me over the weekend, or maybe you heard me on the Ramblecast from Nextlander, and this is the first stream you've been able to catch since I was on that podcast, this is the part of the stream. I do this every week, or every stream I should say, where I just take a little pause here and I talk about ways you can support the channel. All of the things I'm about to talk about here are optional. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you would like to, I'd love it for you to do it. You being here is enough. Hit the follow button if you haven't already, so that you know when I go live next. But yeah, Aristofan already did it. If you're a subscriber, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat. If you're a tier 2 subscriber like Aristofan is, subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do here because you can just be like, hey, $5 a month. Oh, what's up, Dustin? Thank you for being here. $5 a month, and I just, you get the emotes. You don't see ads before the stream starts. It is Playmo Build Report throwing those boats in well. Thank you. It is an easy way to support what I do here, so I would appreciate everybody that is a subscriber. You can do that with Prime. We did have someone renew with Prime. Sharks 2K did, and we had Dirty renewing with Cash Money. Those are the 2 ways to do it. Also, you could gift somebody a sub. If you want to gift a sub, we are currently at we're at 40. We're trying to get to 45 subscribers. We don't have anyone on the gift sub leaderboard because it resets monthly. So if you would like to gift a sub and be the top one sub in your top of the gift sub leaderboard, you could do that. You don't have to do that, but if you want to do that, you could. Thank you to everybody that is a subscriber, or if you've been in the past and you can't right now, thank you. Appreciate you being here. And Mjohn's here. What's up, Mjohn? But yeah, that is an easy way to support what I do. Also, you could join my Patreon. I have a Patreon. It's a new month, so that's a great time to join the old Patreon. I had a couple people drop last month, which is fine. It happens. The fact that they supported me at any point is fantastic. Can't thank them enough for that. But yeah, patreon.com/PatBear. Ooh, Nightbot is taking a second. There it goes. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. So take a look at my Patreon. See if there's a tier that's right for you. Maybe just $1 a month. And because you already have a Patreon stuff set up and you send it to other people, why not me too? You could do that. You don't have to, but you could. Also, I have a YouTube, my YouTube channel. I post videos there every other Monday and every Wednesday. And if you want to see my Wednesday videos a day early, not only do you have to subscribe there, if you want to see my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, you should go in and join. It's $2 a month, and you get one video a day early just for you. And thank you to everybody that does help me out there on YouTube. And there's also direct donations. If monthly is not something you're interested in, but you do want to, like, every once in a while, throw me a couple dollars so that I can keep doing this fine stuff, you can do that through PayPal or Coffee. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which also includes AdSense, want to make that clear, Patreon and Twitch, all goes into me buying model kits. Danazine came here thanks to your lovely support. The premium model kits that I talked about picking up, the Exia Repair 2 Real Grade and the White Rider and Black Rider. Those are all premium kits. That comes from your generous support, so you can do that. Also, talked about the RX-782, the Paralympic Games version. That came from my Amazon wish list. If you ever want to pick up something from my wish list, you can go check it out on Amazon. I'll just quickly tell you about a few things that are there. We got inexpensive things here. We got a couple really cheap Lego kits. A very small, like the Star Blazers kit. That's going to be very tiny, but kind of fun. A Kirby entry grade. That would be very fast to build, but looks cute. Again, I mentioned that Ho-Oh kit that has some springs in it, apparently. Some Lego sets that start getting higher in price. The Guard of War kit dropped in price a little bit, so I'll move that on the list. And then you start getting more expensive for a high grade, older kits, very expensive kits. They're just like, what's up with this? And then I have one kit that's, why do I have the perfect grade of the Unicorn Gundam Phoenix, the Japanese import? Because somebody told me to put that on the list, and then they didn't buy it off my list, but I'm keeping it up there somewhat out of spite. Because they were like, you should put that on your list, wink, wink. And I was like, okay, I did. And nothing. That's fine. And then I got some gear at the bottom that would be helpful to have, but none of it's like necessary. Again, if you buy anything from my wish list, I'll build it. Not only will it jump the queue and I'll build it sooner, I'll even shoot a YouTube video about it, talking about how cool it is that you picked that up. I have a wish list on Throne. I haven't checked it out in a couple days. I got to go and make sure that everything's still in stock. It's got a smaller list, but I like Throne. They're very focused on making sure that the people that have lists there are protected, both their names and identities and also their locations. So a lot of people who don't stream under their given name use that, and I think that's fantastic. Folks that can't afford to or don't have a P.O. box that want to still have stuff sent to them. So I have a small list on Throne. You can check that out. And then USA Gundam Store. That's like an alternative. You're like, I don't want to do any wish list, Pat, but I would like to give you money to buy a model kit. Buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. Then send me a DM on Twitter, because my DMs are open, with that code that you got in your email. And you get that gift card code, and then you send it this way, and I'll buy something on the USA Gundam Store. Maybe a pre-order, maybe just a kit. That's a thing you could do. If you want to support me for free, I have a Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. Sometimes people post links they think I will like. That's nice. Speaking of links, we'll get back to building, and we're going to talk about some manga in just a moment. But first, Pat Bear's Anime Club. I got a video there. Every other Monday, I put up a new Pat Bear's Anime Club. This one is me talking about 4 romantic comedies that came out this season that you should check out. And one of those I'll talk about in the anime segment. There were a lot of romantic comedies this season, and I just talked about 4 of them that are kind of different. You know, some are action, some are just like, here's high school kids falling in love, and here's high school kids who are already in love. So cute stuff. So that's that video there. Then Do You Remembaer, my ongoing video series. Every Wednesday I put a new episode out of Do You Remembaer, which is I read an article online, usually Wikipedia. I should try to diversify. And then I try to remember what I just read in a video format, and then you can look at the link and then correct me in the comments if you want. And this one was about Nils Olav, which is a penguin that is also like knighted and a part of the King's Guard from Norway. Basically, the Norway's King's Guard that protects the royal family. They adopted a penguin and named it Olav after the king and Nils after the commanding officer that fell in love with the penguins and pushed for it. Partly probably as a rub. Also, the current penguin, because there's been 3 of them, this current penguin now outranks Nils, the guy that came up with the program, because every time they visit, the penguin goes up in rank. It's a silly thing that I really enjoy, so check out that video if you haven't already, and learn a little bit about that penguin. All right, so let's talk about some manga. I need to drink some water because I'm sweating in here, sweating bullets. But I'm going to talk about some manga, then I'll talk about some anime, and we'll get into model kit, back to building here, work on the other arm. But first things first, I got to drink some water, and we have to dramatically transition back to the overhead. That's a dramatic transition for you, in case you were wondering what just happened there. All right, so let's talk about some manga, and then we'll talk about some anime. Manga Mondays is the thing I do because I watch a lot of anime, but I don't watch stuff on Sunday and Monday because there's not a lot those days that I watch. There's a lot of kids programming and stuff, which we don't necessarily get over here, and it's just also not stuff that I'm super into. So I usually talk about some manga. If you're wondering, well, Pat, on Saturday you did the Plastic Model Weekender, so are you going to talk about the anime you watched there? I'm going to do double on Saturday. And Saturday I'll be talking about 4 shows and 2 episodes for each. So that'll be a lot of anime talk. I'll cover all of that. That was the decision I made. Okay, so let's talk about D-Genesis, 3 years since the dungeon appeared. If you like the fantasy, this is not an isekai. This is on Earth, but it is an Earth where now dungeons have appeared. If you like fantasy stuff, but you like the ins and outs of those fantasy things, if you like the slice of life elements of it, this is the manga for you. I don't think this will ever get an anime adaptation because it's so slow and so it's not about action. Most of the action happens so far anyway, because I've read 30 chapters of this thing, I think. Most of the action in this happens off screen and is implied or referenced, other than maybe killing slimes. There's some slime killing, but so far we saw one goblin get killed, and it got killed by our main character via car. That sounds really nice. Yeah, so basically, when you defeat a monster, you get a D card, which is your dungeon card. And then you have things, you defeat monsters, and then sometimes there are drops. Those drops are called orbs. And those orbs give skills, but they have a time limit. So most of the time when people find drops, they just take them, or they quickly try to sell them. So our dude was just driving when he sideswiped a goblin, and then he was leaning up against a truck filled with rebar, those giant pieces of rebar, Final Destination style. Earthquake happens, which was also how the goblin got out, and all the rebar falls into this hole that opened up into the dungeon, and off view, we don't see it. This dude kills enough monsters in there to now be ranked number 1 in the world as far as dungeon exploration goes. He's never stepped foot in a dungeon. He's now the best at it. So what does he do? Well, he quits his job, and he convinces his coworker to quit her job as well. And they go into the business of making money and researching in dungeons, because he's a researcher. That's his thing. That's his passion. So most of this manga is conversations trying to figure out what the fuck, why does this feel like a video game? Why is this, why is that, why are these monsters like in this, why are they like goblins and wild animal beasts and references to mythology? Like, what's going on here? And like, yeah, and the skills that people acquire and their points and all that. So the thing that I should say is his ability allows him to see a RPG-like UI that nobody else sees. So he actually gets to see his stats go up and his allocation points like matter. And like, basically there's multiple instances where they just go, well, if this got out, it would change everything, like constantly. Because the fact is, he has a skill no one's ever seen before called Vault. So he can store these orbs that expire. And also, he's the first person to figure out how to kill slimes. Because when you break the stone, they just dissolve. But if you dissolve the slime first, then you can break the stone. So nobody really bothers with slimes. And he's figured out, well, if you are really good at it, if you do my method. Wait, am I doing this wrong or is this... Let me look. Is this the same? No, I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. So yeah, so like I said, a lot of it is just like conversation. It's very conversational. It's very like... I was putting this together wrong, folks. So hold on. Let me get this right before we continue here. Yeah, so a lot of it's conversational. A lot of it's like the ins and outs of how it works. We meet some people like in the military that like haven't really mattered yet. Like we just ran into them. There are like people that want to buy the orbs that he's selling on an auction site because like no one's ever been able to do that. And they're kind of playing it off like we have hidden technology on how to store them. It's a skill nobody knows about because it's Vault. Because they'll freeze in there. They're just figuring stuff out, and it's a lot of like that. Like, there's conversations because like these two characters aren't going to date. Probably our two main characters who are co-workers probably aren't going to date, but there are other women involved, and maybe one of them would be interested in dating him. So there's like a little bit of that, but it's not a lot of that. It's mostly like trying to figure out the science of like, okay, so his body hasn't changed, but he's stronger than he was before. What does that mean? Its brain waves are like fundamentally changing, like an aura. There's like an aura now about him, is basically what they're kind of trying to figure out by going and getting this testing done. Also, they made a ton of money. So yeah, from selling these orbs. It's a lot of science, like I said. Again, I don't feel like it's going to get an anime adaptation because it's a slice of life, but it's not like a comedy slice of life, or a cute slice of life. It's just like playing in this fantasy thing, but also like realistic, but not like Gate realistic, where it's like, oh, there's a fantasy world, and then a bunch of people with like modern weapons. Because they say that like guns stop being effective like the deeper you go into a dungeon, the monsters are strong enough that like machine guns aren't going to handle it. Which I appreciate that like the author was like, oh, I should say something about guns probably, because people, like I'm trying to take this seriously or whatever, or realistically, maybe not seriously. So that is D-Genesis, 3 years since the dungeon appeared. And then we'll switch gears to Leveling with the Gods, which is a Korean manhwa. So this manhwa is not doing anything particularly new or revolutionary. It's playing with the regression idea. You're going to see a lot of this if you read a bunch of manhwa out there. A popular trope right now is the idea that instead of like reincarnation, it's you travel back in time with your knowledge that you had, and you get to start again in your body, usually because there's a disaster coming, but now you get to do it differently. And sometimes you regress and you're like, oh, I'm back in the past and I'm in a different body. And they don't explain like what's happening to the other version of you. I guess you don't exist in that one or whatever. But this one is just like, okay, I'm going back in time And the main idea is this time I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to have companions and we're going to be able to take on the big evil. Because so a bunch of different universes all compete in this tower. They climb the tower. They become rankers. They move on. You're reading Tales of Demons and Gods, and that has the trope. Yes, that trope is there's a lot of that trope. Like the big manhwa tropes are using some old Chinese mythology of like the heavenly demon and the demon sects and the Murin alliance and all of that, like historical fantasy, like people from our world going there or something like that, or people from that world coming to Earth, and then Earth is weird. That's a big one. And then they really like I'm in a romance novel. Yes, cultivation, stuff like that. Yes, the cultivation kind of thing, the outward cultivation of spirit and energy. They're also big on, as a big trope, is I am now in a, like, not a dating sim, but like a dating romance novel. I'm the villainess in a novel that I read, or I'm a minor character in that novel, or a regression of that. I'm the villain of this story, and now I've gone back in time to relive it, and I don't want to be the villain this time. Like, I know that I fucked up, and I know that I got blinded by my love being not reciprocated, and I became a monster, so I'm going to not fuck up this time. That's a big one. But in this one, in Living with the Gods, basically, like, mythological gods are siding with humans against the outer gods, kind of like your Cthulhu kind of things. Basically, like, when you get to the top of the tower, when you're like number one, that's not the end of it. Now you got to fight these outworldly monsters, and we failed. Humanity failed. The other realms failed. Everybody failed. And so somebody sacrifices his life, and he won't exist in reality anymore. Kronos does, to send our main dude back in time. Basically just like, hey, we're going to send you back right before all this happened. So he's stronger now than he was then, because he gets tips like, hey, you should go and do this, this, and this. Like, he even gets to like punch the guy that was like bullying him when he was younger. Like, he gets to just like, because he's at least quick enough, even if he doesn't have a strong body. But yeah, he knows what the system is. He's now, every level, he's like he's perfect at, he's number one, he's unlocked hidden potential, all that stuff. He's met characters that he would meet later in his life, and he's like helped some of them early on. So now he gets like a better relationship with them, and he's met some people that really he liked then, or he's like, oh, I met them before this thing happened, so now I can be nice to them, and like, or I'll help them out, so then we can have like a better relationship now, because he has that information, so he's able to do cooler stuff. And some of the stuff is like things he did, but now he knows more about it, and other things he's like, oh shit, I didn't know what this was then. I had no idea. We didn't find out till later that all of this was because of this fucking dude. So now I'm going to kill him. Or there's like, he meets a ranker and he's like, I never met her. She must have died during this mission, but she seems strong. And then she survived. So now, like, later, that'll be helpful. Or like, these people eventually betrayed humanity, so I'm going to fuck them up right now, even though they're bad, but they're not terrible. So, but I'm going to fuck them up so that they don't mess with us. So it's a little wish fulfillment. Like, things are going to get harder. Right now, it's going pretty well for him. It's pretty smooth sailing. And you do expect, like, things to start not working as well, because it's a story, and eventually it's like, it can't all be perfect. Eventually it is going to have to be a little rough. It's good. It's not my favorite. I got caught up on it. I hadn't been reading it. But I did enjoy what I've read so far, and I'm gonna keep reading it. Sometimes I read a manga and I'm like, nah, I'm good. This one I was like, yeah, all right. What am I reading right now? One of them that I'm just checking out now that I will give a good report on eventually is the World's Best Escort Bureau. It's fairly new, or so there's only been so many chapters of it, but it's just like escorting in the Mirren world and like young people who are talented in martial arts doing like escort missions for a company. And I don't know if it's going to be great, but it's like okay right now. So I'm like, all right, I'll keep reading a little bit of that, and I'll let you know if it turns out to be good. Um, let's talk about some anime. I got 2 anime shows to talk to y'all about tonight. Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie and Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otome games is tough for mobs. We'll start with Shikimori's Just a Cutie. If you haven't been watching this show, I recommend it. I talk about it in Pat Bear's Anime Club about the romantic comedy out this season. This is one of those. This is a high school show where a guy and a girl are dating and they have friends. They're already dating. It's early on, right? They're not like super romantic. But they're interested in one another and they know they like each other. So it's not a when will they? It is no, they're dating. They're dating in episode 1. He is accident prone and unlucky and constantly like almost dying or like getting into trouble or like almost getting hurt. He is constantly having problems, like he is just born under a bad sign or something. And she is kick-ass. She is an awesome kick-ass girl that like not only is she like cute and cool, but she's not just cute and cool. She's badass. She like in the end of the first episode, I keep coming back to this. In the end of the first episode, a sign, like a neon sign, falls and will land on him, and she spin kicks it away. And we don't dwell on the fact that she like knows martial arts and is good at sports and is like, because there's some sports stuff at here. There was like a volleyball game in one episode. She just like totally kicks ass. So sometimes he's just like, my girlfriend is very cute, and sometimes she's just like incredibly cool as hell. And I like that. I like that he is excited. Like he is like, she often gets competitive because he's just such a big fan of how cool she is, which I think is very cute. They're a fun dynamic. Also, their friends like them and like that they are dating. Nobody's mad about it. Nobody's weird about it. Oh, we dropped some frames there. Sorry, everybody. We're back there. Dropped a few frames. Sorry about that. The hiccup there. Anyway, and there's like, he's like a tomboy friend, but also still studies. And then the other 2 girls, one is like short and kind of like says it like it is. And the other one is really sporty and fun. And also we find out via flashback in this episode, also really thinks that Shikimori is cool, and not in like romantic rival way, just in a girls that appreciate other girls kind of way, which I find fun. But yeah, we get to learn about their backstory. It involves basketball and being competitive, but also mutual respect, and it's really fun. There's a whole thing with the girls trying to buy a swimsuit because they're going to go to the river over summer break. Summer break is on the way. And just hanging out. Lots of our couple being very cute and supportive of one another. So that's a really fun part of the episode. And then also after the ending credits, Shikimori's there with Izumi's mom, and they've kind of become friendly, and they're taking a cooking class together. And we already knew this, that Izumi's mom is also kind of scatterbrained and accident prone. Like she like a knife falls out of her hand, like flies out of her hand, and it's just like, oh, what's going on here? But also she's a little flirty, and that's not cool that she's flirting with her son's girlfriend. Mostly it's to tease. It's like that kind of like, this is funny, but it is weird, and it is played for laughs. But I was like, hey, why is this fucking happening? What's this? Why is this the thing that's happening in this anime? So that was weird. So I will say that's the first time I've ever had a moment in the show where I was like, I don't like this part. I'm not a big fan of this. And then the other anime I want to talk to you about is Trapped in a Dating Sim. This very clearly is the end of the first arc of the manga. This is episode 5, I want to say. Did I write it down? Yes, this is the end of episode 5 of a 12 episode series. This could just be the end of the show. If they didn't make episode 6, I'd be like, yeah, all right, they told their story. So I appreciate that they didn't pad it out, but it's very obvious that this was like the end of the first like arc. And it's did I messed this up? I messed this up, folks. I don't know, maybe I didn't mess this up. Let's see. Maybe I did. I don't know. Let's see. Did I mess this up? Yeah, because this needs to bend. And this doesn't bend right. Yeah. Okay. So I did mess this up. We will have to investigate how I did this wrong. We'll see if we can. Yeah, because this is bending like the wrong way. So we'll see. We'll see what happened here, folks. Not a perfect system. I don't pretend to be an expert. I'm an enthusiast. I want to say that this is the part that's wrong. Yeah. I want to say this is on wrong. That's my guess. If I had to make a guess, that this is backwards. Can I slide this out? Yeah, because it wants to go like that. Or maybe this is just backwards. Maybe I can fix it that way. Let's flip this. Anyway, so trapped in a dating sim. As I said, this does feel like is the end of the first arc. And they do a good job. It is the prince versus our main character. If you haven't been watching this show, the easy synopsis is our main dude played this dating sim game that feels like it definitely was made by people who don't normally make dating sims because it's super hard and there's like a really robust like mech battles and like RPG system and it feels like completely out of whack and unnecessary. Anyway, he's like, he hated the game. He didn't want to play it, but he did play it, but he has a real hatred of the main characters. So now that he is trapped in that world, he is supporting the perceived villainess, who is definitely not a villain, and he is helping out her. His real life sister is also in the game, but he doesn't know that yet. He's not aware that she's in the game, as far as we know. But we know that she's in the game. And it's just him in this season's best mecha show. If you're looking for some show with some mechs in it, somehow this ended up being the best mecha anime of the season. Because the mech fights in the last 2 episodes were really good. This episode was really strong. The other one was really strong too. Okay, so I still didn't do this right because sorry. I thought I had done this. Yeah. Yep, this is still not right. Fuck. Okay. Well, and all right. That just fuck. Okay. So yeah. All right. So I gotta. If I reverse these two, that might fix things. And then I'm gonna have to use some liquid cement because I just broke part of this while trying to force it to work, which is fun. Don't do that, friends. Don't do that. All right. So we got a little repair here while I talk about some anime. Anyway, good fight scene. He really plays the role of the villain, and he kind of destroys, because the prince is basically like, hey, kill me, because I don't want to live without Marie, so I'd rather die than win, than lose. And he's like, so you want me to give up? Like, come on. He really plays up the villain, and in the end, he wins without killing the prince. He just like destroys the prince's mech and still wins, but he knows like, I'm going to be in trouble here. It's going to be really hard to get out of this. He makes a deal where he's like, look, I did this for the prince, because he can't be hanging out with a commoner. I did this to save, his fiance, who clearly does have feelings for him, even though he doesn't have feelings for her. Like, I'll give up my title of being a baron, no problem. I will quit school, no problem at all. And they're like, No. Sure, do that. And in fact, take the girl, who was considered the villainess, Angelica. This holiday break, have her cool off with you so that she's out of the way of what's going on here. Turns out the king and queen, who are certainly not thrilled about all this, are like, you know what? In fact, actually, we're going to increase your rank because what you did for the country, and you're gonna be back in the palace, because they get the sense that actually you don't want to do any of this, so this is actually a punishment for you, even though it looks like a promotion, because you clearly hate this. That's going to be your reward, quote unquote. Also, the two girls, Olivia and Angelica, become closer, which is really nice. They need friends. They're close. And it looks like finally Leon has convinced Angelica, who would eventually be the villain of this video game, to not be a villain. He convinces her to not live for revenge. The best revenge is being happy. Instead of going for revenge. It's easy to do that, which is really nice and somewhat surprising that this dude did a good thing. He did in the end he was supportive. All right, so this arm may never be good. We might just have to give up on this arm being flexible, I think, is what I'm going to end up coming to terms with. So I might just put some liquid cement all over this, and we'll just make this an arm that doesn't move, because it broke at a really fragile place, and I think it's just going to keep breaking there. So I'm going to try to adhere it to this, and I might end up having to take this apart after stream before Thursday and just really glue everything together, maybe in blue tack some stuff in place, because this section is now really frail, and it's always going to be bad. This is never going to be a strong connection because of what I have done here. But hopefully I can at least get it to the point where the arm doesn't fall off, because that would be terrible. So if I can get it to the point where it can at least be an arm that moves, that would be great. So that's my hope, is that I can get it to the point where it at least works. Anyway, we're setting up for the next story back in school. Also, the prince and all his lackeys all got expelled, and they're all with Marie, who is the girl that we know is our main character's sister. They've lost all their status, but they're at least getting stronger, which is good. Even though the big bad is not there. And then I guess we're reaching the part where it's past the story in the video game. So who knows if there's DLC or whatever. So I don't know where this story is going to go. As I said, it did feel like the end of this anime. So it is a little weird that we're going to keep going with it. But we are going to keep going with it. So again, folks, I am going to just be kind of trying to glue this together here. I'm just going to be using a lot of liquid cement here, because I don't think that this is ever going to really bend well. So I'm just going to get it into a somewhat working state, and then that'll just be the best I can do. So we're just going to put a lot of liquid cement all over this, just kind of jam it together, put a lot of pressure on it, and then never try to move it again. Yeah, so I'm just going to be putting a lot of pressure on this here to try to get it dry together into some semblance of a thing. And then kind of shove it in, and then that'll be it. But yeah, I'll probably have to do this again later. I might end up shoving some blue tack in there and then kind of compressing it together. But basically, I fucked up on this real bad, and then in my attempt to unfuck it up and fix it, I then pretty much broke it. So, this is an older kit. I don't always have these kinds of screw-ups, so these screw-ups do happen. Basically, the decision I've made with this is just this arm is now kind of locked in position. I'm never going to be moving this arm. This arm I can pose and move around. This one I can move at the shoulder, but I'm not going to move it all. And it will eventually, gravity will just have it fall apart because it's not really locked in well. But after stream, what I will do is you can see here, I will just go and throw a bunch of tack in there and just kind of hold it together, and then really use some liquid cement and just kind of press it like this. I'm just gonna be like watching a video on YouTube or something while I stand like this for a very long time trying to keep this together. But I won't do that in front of all of you because it doesn't make any sense while the stream is still happening for you to watch me do that. Now it's a part of the stream where I hear from you. What are you playing? Are you watching anything? Did you go to the movies this weekend? You watching anything on YouTube? What's your, you got a new, obsession of stuff that's just on constantly? Are you like me, back on your bullshit? In this case, your bullshit is ASMR videos of rugs being cleaned, because I watched a bunch of those yesterday for no good reason. Don't know why I'm back on that particular bullshit, but I am. Back there with that. Back at it again. Watching really annoying videos. They're not annoying. It's just like, I'm like, why am I watching this? Mingle finished up Kingdom Hearts 2. Excuse me. Whoa, sorry. Kingdom Hearts 2 day and playing Halo Infinite. Hell yeah. I usually play Halo Infinite with a particular crew of folks, but we have not played in a little while. We're trying to get together. Hopefully this weekend we can get a game in, because it's real fun. It's just real fun to play with people you know. Meaty says, came out to hide out and catch my breath here. Rough night in America. Yeah. So, welcome. Happy to have you here. We didn't really get into what was starting to come out just as the stream started. My feed before that was just people talking about just a lot of people were talking about like the Met Gala. Not a lot of people, but enough people, which was fine. Now it was basically looking like the courts, that there was a release, like preemptive release of the fact that courts are looking to overturn both Roe and Casey cases to fundamentally change the legality of abortion rights in the United States, which is a bit above my pay grade. And then it looks to like, well, will we see that in the Senate? Probably not. The Senate's too close here in recent times to find that to be to go via the states' rights with the Senate. Most likely, it will take a very long time here because while they do control the House, they kind of control the Senate, but not enough control of the Senate to really get anything done. And it will only get worse later. And that's about all I want to say about like the world that's going on here. Except that like it fucking sucks. And what the fuck? And I look forward to reading more from more people who have more nuanced takes on it than me, who is just like yelling and cursing and saying when people said that was on the chopping block, they were right. So yeah. Lord Crashington's been enjoying the hell out of Rogue Legacy 2. New season for Halo Infinite starts tomorrow. That's right. I'm looking forward to checking that out. C4 going here. Pretty much just watched PMW all weekend. Spent the day at work trying to catch up on GB and Nextlander. Nice Lashbrook. Yeah, lots of Plastic Model Weekender happened over the weekend, and I was watching quite a bit. Was hanging out in our Discord, talking to people, which was very fun. Yeah, Lord Crashington. I bounced right off of Rogue Legacy, so I haven't picked up 2 because it just seems like it's more in some ways better, or at least like cooler. It's Rogue Legacy just seems to be like more Rogue Legacy with like maybe some new stuff as well. And since I didn't really love Rogue Legacy 1, 2 didn't really appeal. But I have some friends who are really enjoying it, and I like that they like it. Aristovan finished Tiny Tina. In between games right now, not much coming out in May. Yeah, Dorf Romantique came out of early access. It is now fully available. I'll be playing that on Wednesday, so if you've always been on the fence about getting that, it's now out fully. Let's see, other things that are coming out. Yeah, not a lot. This is like a good time to catch up on some stuff if you're behind on things. Last week I was playing Elden Ring and Apex. Finally beat a boss that was frustrating the absolute hell out of me. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Cool. Yeah, I don't have anything that I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this. I need to watch your segment later, says Jam. Spent all Saturday working for our local model show. Hell yeah, that's awesome. It's available on my Pat Bear VODs YouTube channel. It's not on this VOD thing. And then eventually, maybe, I don't know if he's going to put chapters in, because you can go into, those videos are long on the Plastic Model Weekender VODs, but maybe they'll go in and put chapters in, or you can just like find the Saturday stream if you really wanted to dig around in there. But I had a really good time, and it was a fun one. But also, yeah, I did find my hours and used Twitch Leecher to just download that segment, which is very convenient that it exists. B26, get B26 out here. But yeah, Rogue Legacy U does more to teach you how the classes work, plenty of tips, and more to help you get better at it. Lord Crashington, that's the best sell anyone's made for me about Rogue Legacy 2, saying that they work towards making it, like somewhat approachable. That's great to hear, because yeah, I mean, I like it. I bounced off of it. I didn't love it, but I'm glad that people are having a good time with it. I'm playing Hearthstone. I got some decks. I have a standard deck that's a warrior deck that, like, since the nerfs, is a little better. It's not a good deck, but I'm liking it. And then I have a rogue deck that's bad, but I enjoy it in Wild. A Wild rogue deck that is like a scam deck that I've been liking. And who knows, I might do a little more streaming of that in the near future. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I will. Let's see. So then we go get a little more of this started here. Mostly in watching a bunch of this season's anime. Watched all Kaguya-sama to catch up. That show is funniest I've seen in a while. Yes, Love is War Kaguya-sama, or Kaguya-sama Love is War, is really good. It's one of the best shows this season. So the thing with season 3 right now is it feels like a collection of chapters of a manga. Like we haven't gotten an arc yet, and I don't know what season 3, like if there's going to be a big arc, where there seemed to be one and two. 2 took a little while to get there. So I don't think it's diminishing returns, but it's still really good. I still really enjoy it. I think the first season is still probably my favorite of all of them, but like still very, very good. Rogue Legacy 2 has house rules, which are a lot of accessibility features like tuning damage values. Oh, I like accessibility features. That's very fun. Good to hear. Aristophan has been playing Mech Pally in Hearthstone. If you have Prime, you can get a free legendary. Yes, I got to do that again because it's a monthly thing, and I haven't done it for May yet. But yes, you can get a legendary in now for a while anyway. It looks like monthly. You can just go in and get yourself a free legendary, which is great, especially if you want a Colossal. It's been very fun to beat Mech Mage in Wild with my busted Rogue Death Rattle deck. Which is just such a cheap scam deck that often fails, but when it succeeds, sometimes when it succeeds, you still lose because they somehow you built this incredible board on turn 4 or turn 5 that it seems unstoppable, and then your opponent just keeps playing mechs because they made all their mechs cheap and keeps doing damage and clears your board with mechs, and it's just really demoralizing to lose that way because your scam deck lost to their scam deck And so that's frustrating, but I'm still having fun in Hearthstone. I'm still having a good time in Hearthstone, friends. It's 2022. That's still a game I play a lot of. I am looking for like an indie darling of like some sort, maybe a puzzle game, maybe I don't know. I don't know if I want to build like I I wouldn't mind a like town builder, but I don't know if I want a like the Bear and Breakfast game. Like I played the demo of that and I was like, this feels like too much work. Like there's just too many like micro actions that need to happen. Uh, it's like a game that like aesthetically is very chill, but it's not chill at all. And I'm like, I think I wish this was chill. And it didn't quite seem to be that. Which is, it's just probably not what I want. Dirty says, I've played a bunch of Genshin Impact. Some Switch Sports at lunch today. Hell yeah, Switch Sports looks real fun. Now wondering what modern hip cool Gundam might be. Oh yeah, Gundam Euphoria. Okay. One thing I haven't been playing, I have not been playing any Overwatch 2 because I barely played any Overwatch, and like the people I've been talking to about Overwatch, my friends who really liked Overwatch, are very unhappy with Overwatch 2 at present moment. That it does not feel like, it just feels like more, in some ways, worse Overwatch. It's just like, what have they been doing? Like, obviously, it's Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. Lots of reasons why that wouldn't be a game that works, but feels like it's just, everything I've read about it just seems like a real bad time, and that's a bummer. But there's like a mode that hasn't come out yet that people are hoping is like that's where they put all their effort in. Maybe, I don't know. Again, I'm not super well versed in it. I played some of Overwatch, but I kind of abandoned it real quick. I didn't have a good crew for it. I've been thinking about the Gundam Overwatch recently. Guess I like that more than I thought. Oh yeah, Lashbrook, if you're thinking about it still, look, I've been talking a lot of shit about how, not shit, but I've been talking about a lot about like, oh, I'm not even going to try that because like it's not my thing and I don't really like those and I think I'm okay. But if they have an alt for the Barbatos that is the Death Scythe, because that is, instead of the sword, it's the scythe. I'm going to fucking get that game if I can be a Death Scythe. Like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to be very bad at it and be, and people will be annoyed that I keep picking the Death Scythe because why are you picking the melee? You're very bad at it, but, if they put the Death Scythe in there, I'm going to play the game. There's only so many melee-focused Gundams that you can put in there. So, like, hook me up. Let me get in there. Let me get at it. Put that Death Scythe in there. Come on. Do it. Like I said, only so many you can do. Throw me a bone. They probably aren't going to throw me a bone. Right? Who knows? I don't know. I haven't been paying enough attention about it. We got some of our dragon done here. I don't know what the best way to photograph this. I guess I'll go low with it because that just looks weird. I'm gonna see. You got the entirety of G Gundam. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of G Gundam kids, but they don't. Some of them have weapons. Not all of them have weapons. So because you do want it to be not just a puncher, because it's probably easier to trade a scythe in for a blade. But who knows? Let's see. Is this gonna? Yeah, I guess this will look okay. This isn't gonna look good until it's like built. I could do that. I guess I'll do this. That's what I'll do. We'll kind of do a side shot of it. There we go. All right, friends. That is going to do it for the stream. Thank you very much to everyone that watched. We're going to go over to the intro here. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all being here. If you're new, hit the follow button so you can see me again. John, I'm glad you really like Gundam Evolution. That's awesome. Like I said, I'm not big on that genre, so it didn't really do anything for me. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you get to keep playing it and have fun with it. I am going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We always end with a raid. We're going to go hang out with somebody else on the internet who I can at the very least tell you has a good community of people, because that's very important to me, is that we raid somebody cool that is doing cool stuff and are nice. So we will do that. We'll go find out who's doing something cool out there and go and give them some love. Liz Star is playing Chrono Cross. So we're going to go hang out with Liz Star. We always end with a raid, indeed. Liz Star is like very cool, and her community is rad. So we're going to go hang out with our goblin friend, Liz Star. So I'm going to get this loaded up here for a raid, because we are raided. Thanks so much, everybody, that decided to tune in tonight. Again, my next stream will be on Wednesday. So come back on Wednesday for Dorf Romantique. And then back on Thursday as I continue the Danazine and we get into the legs and the waist. We might wrap that up. I think we might actually finish that up because there's not a lot left of this kit. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you on the next stream. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.